is to please mute your mic when someone else is speaking. And second is please refrain from talking about sex, religion, and politics. And even if you do so, try to talk in such a way it doesn't offend anybody. Third is switch your mobile phones into into silent mode, so that it won't disturb anyone who's speaking. And the fourth final rule that I'd like to add in every meeting is please turn your videos on. And that's it from my side. Today's theme is How's the Josh? I'd like to see what our TMoD has in store for us. So over to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Gopika.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ganesh, for that wonderful introduction. How's the Josh here, people? High? Low? No response?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, ma'am.
Thank you. Can I see some more faces? Guys, can you come on video, please? Yes, I can see some of them are coming on video. Okay. With that being said, welcome to meeting 155 themed How's the Josh? And I'm pretty sure our TMoD of the day has a lot planned for us. But before that, let me open meeting 155 themed How's the Josh? Now, we all know that in every Toastmasters meeting that the Josh is very high. So with that being said, we have two new members in our club, Toastmaster Vinay and Toastmaster Isanul. Toastmaster Vinay, would you like to introduce yourself? I'm pretty sure he's here.
Yeah, hi. I'm Vinay. Currently pursuing my BTech in Amrita School of Engineering in ECE branch, and I'm from Kakinada, Andhra Pradesh.
Great. Thank you, Vinay, for the introduction. Vinay, we encourage everyone to be on video, so that's something that you'll have to get used to. Toastmaster Isanul, are you here? Okay, maybe he's having network issues, so he's joining in a bit late. So those are the two new members that we have in our club. We're looking forward to new members. So with that being said, another important announcement is that the club contest is going to happen for International Speech Contest in 2 weeks. So everyone who's on the verge of completing level 2 and everyone who's already completed level 2, please start your preparation for ISC. I'm pretty sure all of you are going to be participating. I'm expecting a lot of participants because our club is one that's well known within the community. So just a reminder, please start preparing for International Speech Contest and take part in it. And we have some guests here right now. So we'll just go forward with that. I know I'm taking up a lot of time. Toastmaster guest Sanjay, can you introduce yourself? It's okay if you can't come on video.
Hello. Thank you for the introduction. This is Sanjay and I'm on mobile device right now. Thank you, Gopika, for the invitation. And I'm from Bridge to a Toastmaster club. I have joined recently Toastmaster and I want to improve more skills and interact and know about more about Toastmaster since I'm VP education at my club. And I don't have, because see, our club is not so like we need more advanced people, right? So our club is not that, and that's why I'm willing to join other clubs in weekends to get more ideas.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Sanjay. It's great to have you here. You're always welcome at TAB. So do join in whenever you have time. And yeah, thank you for coming here. We have two more guests. Veekshana, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Veekshana. And I joined this club actually because previously I was in a Toastmasters club. So I've already given almost 4 speeches, 4 levels I've crossed, and I really wanted to continue because I had stopped it there because of exams and college and all. So I would really like to continue here.
Okay, thank you, Veekshana, for that introduction. Now, Sri Jaswant, would you like to introduce yourself? If I pronounce it correctly. Okay, Jaswant is not able to unmute. So let's move into the meeting and let's see what Toastmaster Koushik has in store for us. Over to you, Toastmaster Koushik.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gopika, for that introduction and with the guest speakers and everything. Good evening, everyone. Can I get a response?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
With energetic vibe, energetic greetings.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
A very good evening.
Thank you. So this team, this team, I was it was in my head for some time, and Harsha also helped me with this team. Like about this team, I want to go to my first year. So it was in my first year. Like I also confused when I joined college, and I wanted to explore things and want to enjoy the college life. And later I joined Squad Club, and it's an adventures club in our college. So later there was a Independence Day coming, and we are preparing for parade. You might think the theme is around the parade, but it's not. So we were practicing parade, and the day before the Independence Day, like it's a 14th August 2018. Toastmaster Abhinav, he is the secretary of that squad club, and he gave a speech which motivated us and inspired us from the speech to do the final parade with perfection. And we were all surprised with the speech, and I was so surprised, and I was so motivated by that speech, because I never had any like speech with lively. Like I only heard some speeches in YouTube and all, but I never heard speeches in front of lively in person. So in deep inside, I also thought that I might also give some great speeches like that, and I want to motivate others, and I want to be a public speaker, just like Abhinav, Toastmaster Abhinav. And just like Toastmaster Abhinav, how inspired and motivated, there is another person who started this institution, Toastmaster International, Ralph C. Spetney, and he started this Toastmaster International for motivating people and improving the leadership skills of them. And he started this institution in 1924. And right now there are more than 3 lakh members and around some 15,000 plus clubs in 149 countries. And coming to theme, later I went to Toastmaster Abhinav and asked him, how can I join the club? And he gave me the contact of Toastmaster Sanjana. So she was a VP membership back then, and she gave me all the details, and I contacted her and I joined. And after joining, I did my self-evaluation, like what do I need to improve, like why did I join? But in this meeting right now, I don't think you need self-evaluation, because we have general evaluator. So before going to prepare speeches, let's introduce our general evaluator. She's a so energetic person who has a lot of fan following in the college, and she's athletic, and she loves to read manga in free time, and in remaining time she claims that she roasts people. Over to Toastmaster Vaishnavi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Koushik. And I don't claim to roast people. People have given me the title. There's a difference. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I'm the general evaluator for today's meeting, and my job is to evaluate the whole meeting. To do this job, I have a platoon of soldiers who are ready to help me. So let me call them first. The timer for today, she doesn't think Tab is a club. She feels it is a family, and for her, these meetings are a way to remove stress. So let me call upon Toastmaster Niharika.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, for that introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. I will be the timer for today's meeting. My role is to time each and every speaker. We have 3 segments in our meetings. The first one is the prepared speech. It's of 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll be showing please let me know, could you see the cards? At 5 minutes, I'll be showing the green card. And at 6 minutes, I'll be showing the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. And for the table topics, we have 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll be showing the green card. At 1.5 minutes, I'll be showing the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. And the third one, then comes the evaluation. Evaluation is from, we have 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll be showing the green card. At 2.5 minutes, I'll be showing the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. And each speaker has a buffer of 30 seconds. I request everyone to follow the time limits. Thank you. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Niharika. Now let me call upon the second soldier. This soldier loves to meet new people. She loves to bake and listen to music. I hope she helps the VP by baking cookies or pizza so that they can bribe us to take roles. Over to Toastmaster Supriya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, for that lovely introduction. A very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and guests present here. I'll be the R counter for today's meeting. So we all know how important it is to speak fluently and to minimize the usage of words like us, and to minimize our pauses. So I'll be helping everyone with that. So my role as an R counter would be to count your CRPFs. So CRPF is an acronym where C stands for crutch words such as basically, literally. R stands for repetitive words, which can be like, so. P stands for pauses, and F stands for filler words such as us, etc. I'll also be giving small tips as to how we all could reduce our CRPF so that we all can speak fluently, so that everyone can understand what we're trying to convey to the audience. That's all from my end. I'll be showing my report at the end of the meeting. I hand over the stage to General Evaluator Vaishnavi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Supriya. Now the third soldier. This person is the grammarian for today, and he's one of the real marvels of math. I believe he's a politely honest person and who always is enthusiastic towards Tab and always keeps hustling. Over to Toastmaster Vishnu.
Thank you, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good evening, everyone. As a grammarian for today's meeting, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers by listening them carefully. I will take note of good usages which needs improvements, any improper language, as well as any outstanding usages, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to implement the word of the day and idiom of the day for today's meeting. And let me share my screen to explain the word of the day and idiom of the day. Today word of the day is quell. Its meaning is to talk admiringly or enthusiastically or proudly about something. Maybe we can speak about it as very well proudly. Example as, take the example of here, that father was quelling about his child's success to everyone. And today's word of the idiom of the day is working against the clock. Its meaning is not having enough time to do something. When coming to the example, like we can use it as we are really working against the clock now. We must hurry. And these are the word of the day and idiom of the day for today's meeting. And since I'm watching through recent meetings, no one is using word of the day and idiom of the day. So I'm trying to do new thing today. I request anyone to use word of the day now. It means I request anyone to use the word of the day and say a sentence, like example. And the screen will show the word of the day for your reference also. So who is me speaking about the word of the day? Anyone?
Yeah, I can try.
Yeah.
I am quelling at the fact that Vishnu is putting so much effort into helping others to learn a new word in every meeting.
Thank you. Yeah, I am able to see the thumbs up after many meetings. And my next volunteer for the idiom of the day. Who is going to be my next volunteer?
Yeah, I can go ahead.
Thank you, Dinesh.
My father worked against the clock for quelling me for the successful career that I'm gonna build in my future. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome, Dinesh. Yes, that's it from my side. I will report my every reports at the end of meeting when called upon by general evaluator. Over to you, general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishnu. That was a very well structured introduction. So I've started my evaluation from the essay, and I'll give my report at the end of the meeting. So without any further ado, let me pass it over to Toastmaster Koushik.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, for the introduction and the tag team, the comrades. And it's a has 27th meeting. This is my first meeting when I joined Toastmasters. And it was Toastmaster Abhinav again. He was the TMoD in that meeting. And Toastmaster Madhumita, she's only speaker in that meeting. And she's giving the speech titled Fear Without Fear. And I was so impressed, and the speech was so impactful that like initially has some stage fear, but I refuse to admit that. But later somehow I have to accept, and I overcame. And I also I think about how can I give such speeches, and how can I get make people impactful with such speeches. And you can also get impactful in today's meeting, not just one speech, but it's about 3 speeches. So now let's go ahead with the prepared speeches. Go into the first speech. It's Toastmaster Harsha, who is an enigmatic candidate who tries to make other laugh with his jokes, but sometimes his jokes make him roast by himself. And for some people eyes, he's a clown piece. For some other people heart, he's a crown prince. And before going to his speech, let me call his evaluator, Toastmaster Vinitna. Toastmaster Vinitna, she says that she says that Josh, she is high. She's so high, and she until she get badly hit by her life's reality. But still, a cup of coffee keeps her high and active. Over to Toastmaster Vinitna.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Koushik. Hello, fellow tapsters and guests. This is Vinutna with the complete honors of evaluating our first speaker of today's meeting, Toastmaster Harsh. Toastmaster Harsha is, and the purpose of the project is for the member to practice using vocal clarity or body language to enhance a speech. Timer, please know the timing. The time is for 5 to 7 minutes. Hoping for a very beautiful speech from you, Harsha, and over to TMoD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinitna. Toastmaster Harsha. Life is a race. Life is a race. Toastmaster Harsha.
Life is a race. If you don't run fast, you're going to be a broken egg. My dear Toastmasters and beloved guests, how many of you love winning? I can see a lot of hands there. Well, who doesn't love winning? I love winning a lot. It was almost my 7th standard that I played my first tennis tournament. It was under 14. I went to the tournament and I hit the other person with no points at all. The other person didn't get any points and I won the match so simply. I thought, I'm going to nail this. Well, after a few more tournaments, after winning a few more in the same age category, I thought, I can be even more better at this. And later, not only in tennis, I thought I can do anything in my life and I can do whatever I want and I can succeed in whatever I want. But reality hit me differently in my 10th standard. There was this lecturer called Salim Ali who used to teach Hindi. He used to come to the class, sit beside me and ask my hand, not to take me somewhere. He used to get an iron scale and hit me on my hand every time I say something wrong in Hindi. And for every hour, I used to get at least 15 to 20 beatings. After all of that, in my pre-finals, I just passed in my Hindi exam. Just passed with 37 marks out of 100. My lecturer told, don't keep your hopes high. Don't be on cloud 9. Even if you get 10 points in all other subjects, you're going to fail your 10th class. I went to the examination hall for my board examination of Hindi. I sat there. I was just praying to the God. Just pass. 35. Just pass. But I had full confidence that I would fail. There was this one question in the examination which asked us to write quotes about Swachh Bharat. If you know a lot of Telugu people who doesn't know Hindi, they try to do this amazing thing. In Telugu, night is called Ratri. So in Hindi, they call it Raat. In Telugu, garbage is called Chatta. In Hindi, Chet. Why not? I went ahead with that and wrote it in the exam. I came out of the examination hall and I told my mom, the paper was horrible. Don't consider me passed in 10th standard. One more year. But on the day of results, I was sitting in front of my laptop. I looked at the screen and I got 10 points in Hindi. I wonder who evaluated my paper. That day I realized, man, life is a race and I'm going to win it no matter what, whatever the arena is. A few more years later, I entered into a circus called B-Tech with 2,000 clowns in it. And trust me, that circus is so messed up. And it was bigger competition and I loved the competition there. That too, going in with a rank of 2,000, which I considered to be very great, I thought I can nail B-Tech so easily. I went into B.Tech. Let's keep aside the academics for a while because you obviously know how they're going to be. But firstly, I got selected into my tennis team in the college and I thought I can do wonders in the tennis team. We can go to tournaments, win tournaments, come back to campus and change the history of Amrita. I was so dedicated and motivated. The first match that I played in college with my tennis captain, I won it. Even though it was a little bit of struggle, I did. So they took me a tournament into the first 3 months of college. After going to that tournament, I won the first 4 games straight. But later, the opponent turned out to be so strong, we lost the match horribly. I thought, yes, life is a race, but I lost it this time. A few more months later, the inter-campus tournament was riling up. We were practicing vigorously. I used to get up at 5:45 every day in the morning, go to the ground, run 10 to 15 rounds around the ground, do all the fitness exercises possible, and take tennis practice as much as possible. After a few days, the D-Day arrived. We went to Coimbatore and the journey was amazing. The next day, the tournament was right in front of our eyes. You know what? This time, we got a silver medal in the race. I'm just kidding. There were only 2 teams who won the silver medal. We lost the tournament again. After all of this, I just thought life is a race. Life is a race. I want to win it. I want to win it no matter what. After all these incidents, you know what? I still believe that life is not a race. It's not at all a race. I want to take my life as it comes. I want to experience it. I might fail and fall a few times, but I just want to remember that I can get up again. I might black out on the stage right now, but I want to start speaking again, even if I black out. And I always want to remember that I can stand here no matter what. On the final note, I know Hindi, just remember that. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harsha. That was an entertainable speech, I'll say. And yes, Harsha know Hindi, but the person who knows Hindi might not understand what Harsha might be talking. And yes, life is not a race. Life is super race. And our next speaker is Toastmaster Anjani. And something. So there is no lag in the connectivity.
Hello. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you're audible and just wait. Sorry for interruption. My laptop just got hanged. Yeah, I'm back. So Anjani says that she's her Josh fluctuates depending on her situation, but she always aims to maintain high level of Josh. If her Josh fall below a certain level, she'll immediately comes up with a strategy to keep it high. And for Anjani's speech evaluator, it's Toastmaster Dinesh, who is a silent killer of tab, and he says that tab has become daily routine in his recent times. And he also says that with many ups and downs, every day is a new experience for him. Over to Toastmaster Dinesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Koushik, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, and a special good evening to Toastmaster Anjani, who is attempting her level 2 project 3 in the path leadership development. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share aspect of a previous experience as a protege, as in mentee. Looking forward for your amazing speech, and I'm just expecting that your speech is as creative as your intro you gave into the Toastmaster of the day. All the best, Toastmaster Anjani, and over to you, Toastmaster Koushik.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. Toastmaster Anjani, my unofficial mentors, Toastmaster Anjani.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Koushik. Consider a small toddler sitting on the floor crying because he wants to play with his toy, but his parents took it away from him for some reason. What would you think? What would you do if you were the child in this scenario? Fellow Toastmasters. You all think bad, right? It's just a toy, right? Why are his parents so unkind to him? Why? Because the toddler has no idea that the toy he thinks is playing what was actually a knife. It is a sharp knife. It's not a toy. Now tell me, do you genuinely think it is appropriate for you to take away your child's toy if you are the parent in this scenario? Yes. Thank you. So if you ask me the same question, the first thing I do is to grab the knife and hide it away. Just like you all said, just like you all nodded your heads. So the reason I'm telling you this scenario is because so many times we wonder why my parent is not allowing me to go to party, why my parents are not allowing me to buy these things, why? We'll think like this, right? We do have situations like this, right? Where our parents are not allowing for us to do some certain things, right? Here, the toddler has no idea that if he continues to play with the knife, he'll get injured. Because he's too young, he lacks the maturity to realize the truth. Nobody is perfect, and no one is mature enough to think in all the direction to understand all the situations, right? It is because their experience, we need to listen to our parents. Few things can be learned only through experience. Good evening, my dear tapsters and guests. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Anjani Sriya. As my evaluator already said earlier today, I'm here to talk about my experiences as a mentee. Just because I don't have any official mentors other than in Toastmasters. So I was worried. I have to write a script. I have to tell about my experience as a mentee. What to write? What should I write? I have no mentors, therefore I have no content. I was thinking the same. But finally, I'm glad that I'm here in front of you to tell you that I figured out who my mentors are. I recognize that the people who have served as unofficial mentors in my life, such as my friends, such as my family, such as my team members, if I worked in any projects, and they played a very important role till date. They actually helped me realize things. Right. Before sharing my experiences, let me mention few things about me. Number one, I'm mostly a self-taught learner. Rather than sitting in front of a teacher and understanding or writing notes in front of him, I don't do like that. I actually learn things by myself. Let me admit this now. I'm a very basic level, terrible artist. Artist in the sense I'm talking about drawing here. Okay. One day I was drawing and my mother came to me and said, you're drawing nice, but this is not the way to learn drawing. This is not the appropriate way to draw. My mother advised me to draw initially like 100 eyes, 100 noses, 100 ears from different angles so that you can improve. Fast forward 5 to 6 years later, I don't remember exactly. When I opened my sketchbook today, I realized that there are so many pictures here without eyes, few sketches without ears, few sketches without faces also. I also drew Virat Kohli's portrait and Mastani's portrait from Bajirao Mastani. But unfortunately, I was unable to sketch Mastani's eyes. But fortunately, I lost a piece of paper.
So after seeing all these things, I'm not going to show you all this Virat Kohli portrait because I don't want to make a fool out of myself. Let me keep it aside. So after reviewing all my pictures, now I realize if I listened to my mom that day, I might have improved my drawing, right? And today, if someone came to me and asked me to draw something, I cannot draw that easily. If I practice from that day, if I sat and practice in a proper format, just like my mother said, then today the scenario will be different. Today, my drawing skills will be improved, right? Let me give you a few more examples to think about. These are the examples where I realized that few things can be learned only through experience. So back when I was a complete noob at programming and such, I once created a few web pages. Web pages on the provided template. So there will be Figma designs, right? Figma templates, right? From that, I created a web page on my own. And I was so excited. I was so pleased that without learning a lot, without taking time itself, I completely developed that web page. When I showed my sister and I was talking, she looked at my code and said, "This code is not so modular. This code is not so equally. This show is not placed correctly. If you arrange the code in a proper format, whenever you need to change the code, then it will be even more helpful." And I said my sister that I never looked into the solution, or I never went and looked into to the code or internet or anything. I did not went to the solution. Without doing anything, only I managed to write the code. And then my sister said, that is not correct. When you look at the solution, you will notice little simple things that you can learn from solution videos. So one day I happened to see a video of some senior developer working on a project, and his code was so modular. Everything was separated into pieces. Every single part of the code was developed into div containers, span containers, and so many things. Then I realized my code was good. With the help of my code, the web page was created and everything was fine. But that was not so helpful. If I have to add a feature in my web page, it will take me a lot of time because I have to change a lot of things. Then I realized when you look at a solution, when you look at a people who are more experienced and the code written by experienced senior developers, then you will understand the way how you have to write it and everything. Coming to one more example, one day I texted Gopika Akka and said, "Akka, I need your introduction." Akka was confused and said, "Are you going to introduce me?" She asked. I again said, "I was the one supposed to introduce you, right?" I was already confused and now I have confused her as well. Very politely, she clarified that TMoD is the one who is supposed to introduce me and not you. She recognized that I was playing that role for the first time and I was confused. Here the points to be noted are, I'm not new to Toastmasters at the time. And even though I knew that the role of a general evaluator, how that actually works, I was so confused. Finally, the moral of all these things, all these incidents are, interacting with people who are experienced and actually matters a lot. You will come to know what is correct and what is wrong. You will get clarified. No matter how much a person is aware of something, he is definitely less than a person who is experienced. That's it from my side. Over to TMoD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anjani. Yes, I completely agree with the statement. Experience values a lot, and it gives up more value for your work as well, whether in placements or whether anywhere. Experience that gives a value to your work and to your like for other important things. And upcoming speaker is Toastmaster Nikhil. Nikhil says that he is a person who binge watches anime, and he's also big. He says that he's a foodie, and he always try to stay positive no matter what the situation is, but mostly ends up losing interest in life. And Toastmaster Nikhil's speech evaluator is Toastmaster Harshita. When you see her, you might think she's silent and nerd, but she's also multi-talented person. You might think she only plays basketball, but she also plays with people who have mess with her. And but people who knows her better says that she's a kind and sweet person. Over to Toastmaster Harshita.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Koushik, for that sweet introduction. Toastmaster Nikhil is attempting to start dynamic leadership. The purpose of the project is for the member to identify his primary leadership style, share some aspects of that, or discuss leadership styles in general. Timer, please note the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Nikhil. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harshita. Toastmaster Nikhil, what am I? What am I? Toastmaster Nikhil.
Fellow Toastmasters, so let's get started with a quick poll. How many of you want to be a leader? Can I get a quick raise of hands? That's great, a lot of you guys. But if you ask me, I'm a person who takes things very lightly and does not want any burden on my head. And I always thought, who would even want to be a leader? Everyone's problem becomes your problem and all the issues comes on your head. Why would a person even want to be a leader? These were my thoughts when I was given a leadership role in my college. But the amount of insights and the knowledge I've received during this position was immense. And this position changed my whole perspective towards leadership. So let me tell you a few insights that I received while I was a leader. My first insight: a leader must always have effective communication. He should always convey the points effectively and efficiently. There's no point if you're trying to convey your point and the other person does not even understand your point. So if you notice, out of all the great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela, there's this one thing which is very common, that they have the ability to convey their emotions properly and the ability to motivate millions of people. And that's what makes them special. Quality number 2, leading by example. For me, a leader is someone who sets examples. And I feel telling people what needs to be done is not enough. You have to inspire by doing some actions. For example, you have a boss and he tells you to work all night long and he goes home himself to take rest. No employee would be motivated to work. So, for example, Mahatma Gandhi didn't sit in his ashram and tell everyone to go march and bring freedom for the country. He himself led from the front and even went to jail for the cause. Quality number 3, optimistic. I think a good leader should have the ability to focus on the beneficial side and set up a correct environment and also be positive so that it creates opportunities to overcome obstacles. And I think a perfect leader is one who can bring light even in absolute darkness. And always remember this. Even in front of this huge Kalakaya army, Bahubali did not lose his focus and was always determined for victory. So this brings me to with my fourth quality, open-minded. A leader must always be open to suggestions, welcoming new ideas, and without any ego and bias. So I was thinking of an example for this. So I thought the best example would be none other than our Madam President Gopika. So being an XCOM member, I've experienced this that in every XCOM meeting, she asks us our own opinion, and not only our own opinion, but also gives her opinion and reason why it'll work and why it won't work, which I think is a really great and a key trait for leadership. And this brings me towards my fifth and the last quality that I learned: demonstrating integrity. A leader must always give credit to others, the credit for his hard work. And integrity builds trust, and it's a really key component in building a strong team. And it increases the likelihood of accomplishing the goals. The one thing which I like about MS Dhoni and which Virat Kohli has continued is that they always give credit to the team on successful days and always take blame on themselves for failure, which I think is a really great trait. And I think, and it sets the correct environment in the team. So these were some of the qualities that I learned as a leader, and I think a good leader must have as well. So this brings me towards the second part of my speech. Which style? What style of leadership do I own? So I really had this hard time determining which leadership style I belong to, but upon some great struggle and thought, I narrowed it down. Mind you, the internet had a lot of choices. Like there were many types like democratic, authoritative, innovative, coaching, and the others I forgot. Never mind. So upon deep thinking, I reduced them to three: democratic, innovative, and authoritative. Out of which I felt the closest was democratic. So upon reading what was democratic and what are the key traits, I understood this few things which I related the most with the strengths that I have the ability to make this consensus decisions and motivating others by providing opportunities. And the weakness that I don't work well with people, and I don't work well people. I don't work well with people whom I don't know and understand. So I believe no matter what your leadership style is, you must always set a correct and positive environment and stay balanced on how you're leading your team. Because no matter how strong the light is, there will always be darkness. Lastly, I would like to end by a quote of Kuro Sensei from Assassination Classroom. The difference between a student and a teacher is that the teacher has failed more number of times than the student has even tried. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nikhil. That's a wonderful take on leadership qualities. And coming to the theme again, after the my first meeting, #27 meeting, 27th meeting, and from then I never looked back, and I learned a lot from all the meetings, from either from the seniors or my batchmates or juniors. I took many roles in the meetings, and as well as many roles outside the clubs, and as well as the leadership roles from in the division and districts. I learned a lot in the meanwhile, and everything has a break, and there was a pandemic, and everything worked against the clock for me. And at that time, I also had many projects in my academic, and I didn't have enough time to spend time for Toastmasters and other clubs as well. So I took a break, and I took a break, and I want to concentrate on other things. Just like how I get impromptu things suddenly. We in our meeting, we have impromptu session right now. That's a table topic session, and I'll continue the theme after the table topic session. And our table topic master is Toastmaster Samir, and he's a science freak who loves to read novels, comics, and manga, and tries to bring creativity in everything he does. Over to table topic master Toastmaster Samir.
Am I audible?
Yes.
After listening to all your energetic speeches, even I have decided to rock on the stage by creating a Josh, the dose that is table topics. Let's consider a situation. On the day of your birthday, you have decided to treat your friends, and you and your friends went to a restaurant. Since you are the one who is going to pay for their meals, they ordered all the expensive meals and enjoyed it. But you have realized that you haven't brought any money. In this situation, how will you handle your friends? Can anyone unmute and answer?
Escape.
I would phone pay.
Okay, cool. Here comes the importance of impromptu speaking. The reason why we need impromptu speaking is to develop the self-confidence and to formulate the thoughts quickly on the situation. But how will you improve your impromptu skills? That's what this session is all about. And the reason why I am here is for good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. How is the Josh? Can I have a thumbs up? Cool. Today, I, Toastmaster Samir, will be your table topic master. The purpose of this table topic session is to improve your impromptu speaking skills effectively by answering some unrehearsed questions. As the timer already mentioned that the time limit for each speaker is 1 to 2 minutes with the 30 seconds buffer time. And also try to emphasize the word of the day and the idiom of the day in the table topic session so that it enhances your vocabulary. With this note, I shall start the table topic session. Any volunteers, especially from the guest? Guest Sanjay.
Yes, I will go, Samir.
Okay. Tell me about your hidden talent.
The Toastmaster Samir, the topic is hidden talent, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Samir, for giving this opportunity for me to speak. Not talking about hidden talents, but let me explain you before that. There are talents which are generally do not hidden, because if someone knows something, that has to be come out sometime or later. So my hidden talent, one of the most talent which I have developed in my school and colleges, is picking up sports. So in college and school, I was very physically fit, and I can pick up any sports like cricket, football, hockey, table tennis, badminton. These kind of sports I have played in school and college. But I was a member of school hockey team, and I represented school in interjonal and zonal. And we also participated in CBSC interjonal East zone, and we were the champion. So for me, one of this physical maintenance is one of my hidden talent. Although now I have gained some weight, but still I can pick up many sports and many physical activities. That's I would like to say. Over to you, Toastmaster Samir.
Thank you, guest Sanjay. That was a fascinating speech. And any volunteers, especially from guest Siddharth Das.
Yeah, hi, Toastmasters.
Hi. Your topic is, what is something you always wanted to try but have been too afraid to do?
I'll take a quick 30 seconds to just get my thoughts on.
Yeah, sure.
Well, this is a very interesting topic when it comes to what is the most important thing or most unique thing that I would like to do, but I'm afraid of doing it. I would love to bring a dog to my home, but yes, my mother would not ever approve of because of one incident that I faced in my life. So I bought a Labrador in my home 5 months back. So he was playing around and then he saw our small temple, which is placed exactly in the dining room where we all have our lunch and dinner. And the dog went there and he thought that maybe since all people are sitting up on the table and chair and having their lunch, maybe I should also sit on this temple and have my lunch. So he took a bone of his own and went to the temple where my mother does her prayer and then went and sat there. And my mom just freaked out. So I, at first, when I heard her voice, So I thought that my mother got shock or something, But when I went there and I found that dog, so the dog was named as Jack Daniels. So it's a funny name though. So I named him Jack Daniels. And when I found that Jack Daniels was sitting on the temple, at first the emotion that I had was that, oh, how cute. But yes, when I saw my mom's face, I was like, okay, it's done. Either Jack Daniels is going out of the house or else I'm going along with him. So I don't know what happened to my mom. Then she went back to the bedroom. She bought a good, cute basket, which my father had bought for Jack Daniels, put 2 to 3 clothes, 3 to 4 biscuit packets that we had bought, and then gave it to me and then said, the auntie next, who is a neighbor of ours, wants that dog. Go and give her and say this is a birthday present that your mom is giving her. I was like, oh, sorry. Then the cute moment of mine went into a sad moment. So I always fear to bring a dog, even any animals. So finally, I figured out to bring a small fish, fighter fish. And yes, the name of the fighter fish is Old Monk. So thank you.
Thank you, Siddharth. Even I had the same experience in my life. Any other from the guest? Anyone from Toastmasters? If you don't answer, I will pick you.
Samir,
yes, I can try. Yeah.
Okay, your
Toastmaster.
topic. Yeah. Your topic is, what historical period would be the best to be born in?
What historical period to be mostly born in?
Yes.
Give me some time. The questions are a little difficult. It is my first day, but it's a little difficult. Could you please change the question for the first time?
Yeah. What motivates you the most?
Oh, motivation. The things which motivates us, that's called motivation. The thing which motivates us is called motivation. The thing my father's is what my father always inspires me to do things. When I want to do something, my father always says me, yeah, your decision is right. You can do this. My mother also says, no, yeah, your decision is right. The support of my father, my mother, as well as my friends, which inspires me. Which inspires me to do this, do any activity or any work successfully. Yeah, these are the thing which inspires me or motivates me too much. My voice is not audible due to some issues, technical issues, I think. Is my voice audible to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. That was a wonderful speech. And any other? Harsha.
That was so specific.
How you were actually you were unmuting before.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. This is the question especially for you.
Oh my God.
If you were a wrestler, what would be your entrance theme song?
Thank you so much, everyone. Those are great suggestions. I absolutely love them and take them into consideration. I promise. Let me get back to my story where I thought of being a wrestler for the first time in my life. In my third class, we had a tournament and it was called Tug of War. And people so specifically picked me up just like Samir at that time because I was hefty in third class. I went on to the other team and my friend said, bro, stand right in the front. You're going to win this game single-handedly. I went to the front. I was trying to pull the rope and I fell down. My friend said, you're supposed to be so strong, you're not going to fall down. Then came the second round. I don't know how. We just won the next 2 rounds and we won the game eventually. That was God's grace. That was the time I decided to be a wrestler in my 3rd class. And later on, I thought, this is something that can be my profession for the entire life. I started taking professional training as a wrestler. And after a bit of time, I thought, why not? Let me go to boxing tournaments a little and I can make money out of it. And at the same time, you know what? I can be a professional wrestler. I went ahead to a lot of tournaments, and in every tournament, there used to be so many incidents. And I thought, this is not possible with me after a while. But just like Amir Khan and Dangal, all my coaches came to me and said, Harsha, you can do this. You can do whatever you want. You can achieve everything in your life. So if there is a theme song for me, that would go on the same note. And we'll add a little bit of music to that, make the lyrics work a little and swirl around a little, and we'll introduce that as a theme song. That's a personalized one, Toastmaster Samir. Thank you so much. It was an awesome topic. Over to you.
Thank you, Harsha. Any other volunteer? Vaishnavi. Okay. Okay. If you could be any supernatural creature, what would you be and why?
Supernatural creature is something new. Like people talk about superheroes, superpowers, supernatural creature. I would be an alien. There's no doubt about it. And come to Earth, trick people into doing something good for the environment, or either destroying or conquering Earth. Yes, I'll be the super villain from, let it be from Omni-Man, or let's talk about Man of Steel. I'll be that super villain, that alien who'll come, who'll help humans by invading them and actually doing something for this. Doing something for this planet, because we are not doing anything anyway. The thing, many people say Thanos is in the wrong. He should not have this. He should not have. How do you say? Not have. I forgot the word for this, but you can understand, right? He should not have eliminated half the population of the universe. But now, aren't we in that same situation? Don't you see the pandemic, everything in that way? The corona is hitting us or anything is hitting us. So I think I'll be that alien who'll conquer Earth and help humans to make Earth better. That's all I have. Over to Toastmaster Samir.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. Any other volunteers, or shall I call you? That's up to you.
Harshita is raising her hand.
Harshita. Okay, Harshita, the topic is, if universe is just a simulation, what update or patch does it need?
Can you repeat the second half? What update of?
What update or patch does it need?
You once repeat the whole topic.
Okay.
Universe is?
If universe is just simulation,
Okay.
what update or patch does it need?
Okay. Thank you. And I hope the background noise is not too much. Yeah, thanks. Okay, the word simulation, being a student of electronics and communication engineering, brings me back to the numerous amount of simulations we had in the past 2 years, especially because we had our whole engineering life online. So apart from the fact that I thinking about universe being a simulation and what updation or patch I would be adding to it. Maybe if I would consider universe as a simulation, Samir, I don't know how you got to this topic. I don't know what science kid is growing in you, but the one updation or patch I would add is that I would try to reduce the amount of technology we have and increase the amount of human connections or human interactions more. So if I have that opportunity, or if that is there in my hands, not that there is more technology currently, but I am not a technical person. I hate sitting in front of laptops, holding my phone and talking to friends. I love to hang out with friends physically, being with them, talking to them. So maybe I would be a little bit selfish and not think about the universe in a technical aspect. But definitely, if I would get an opportunity, I would try to include more of human interactions and reduce the technical aspects. And yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you for the talk.
Thank you, Harshita. Ganesh.
Hi.
Hi. And your topic is the zombie apocalypse is coming. Who are the 3 people you want on your team and why is that?
3 people as in from any movies, any superhero movies, or
Someone from Toastmasters, okay?
Okay. So, firstly, when it comes to a zombie apocalypse, I always have this confidence that I will survive till the end. After watching a zombie apocalypse movie, I think if I was in their place, I would have survived, went on somewhere, started a civilization, and probably created technology and died of old age. That's the confidence I have when it comes to zombie apocalypses. So right now, I think I don't need anybody from Toastmasters because of the confidence I have. I can go out, I can probably face the zombies and fight them till death because I know I will survive. So I don't need anybody. I won't choose anybody. And yeah, that's it from my side. Over to you.
Thank you, Ganesh. Dinesh.
Yes.
You can have
Sorry
anyone.
for the disruption. We don't have time. Please.
Okay, I'll finish it off with Dinesh.
Okay.
Okay. You can have anyone as a frictional as your imaginary friend. Who would you choose and why?
As in anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Samir. If I can select any imaginary friend, I would like to select Naruto. Naruto because I became a recent anime fan and I totally love that series. It has everything that I want in my personal life. Like Naruto, for the benefit of the people who don't watch anime, Naruto is a kind of person who always fights for his comrades and always whenever people, his friends or any people around him gets low, he'll try to motivate him through his words. So that is the kind of character that I need in recent times, being online scenario everywhere, and we can't interact offline, we can't interact in person. So I definitely need someone beside me who is not a human, obviously. So considering current scenarios, so if it is like a fictional character come true, I'd like to choose Naruto to be come to real life and stay with me, so that he can motivate me whenever I feel low and feel like just giving up. He will encourage me and helps me to do all sorts of things. That's it from my side. Over to table topic master.
Thank you. By this note, I would conclude the table topic session. I was literally quarreling after listening to all your table topics. Thank you. Over to the TMoD.
Thank you, Toastmasters Amir. That was an engaging table topic session. And without further ado, let's go ahead with general evaluation. Toastmaster Vaishnavi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Koushik. Now, before I give my report, let me call upon today's speech evaluators. So let me call upon Toastmaster Vidutna to give her speech evaluation on Toastmaster Harsha's speech. Over to you, Vidutna.
Thank you so much,
Just
Toastmaster
a moment.
Vaishnavi.
We'll go for the 5-minute break before the GE reports.
Okay. Time up. Then let's go ahead. Over to Toastmaster Vaishnavi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Koushik. Now, before I give my report, let me call upon the speech evaluators for today. Let me call upon Toastmaster Vinutha, who is here to evaluate Toastmaster Harsha's speech. Over to Toastmaster Vinutha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vaishnavi and Harsha. True, life is a race. And now or the other time, everyone will end up being the broken egg. So, getting back to your evaluation, Harsha has segregated your complete pattern of evaluation into 3 segments. First thing, your project criteria. Speaking about your project criteria, the first thing is voice variety. You have completely aced the voice pitching. You have completely suppressed your voice and you were deep some of the times, and you have elevated your pitch some of the times. It was so apt and it's so in time. Kudos for that. And speaking of the next thing in your project, that is your body language. You have completely aced it. See, the movement, the to and fro which you have taken, it was so evident, and it was like a visual, something like a, like movie kind of visual effect to us. It was so, involving into your theme, and we were so much into your story. We were completely on ears to your speech. So your criteria has been met. And speaking about the positives other than your criteria, the first thing is your opening. You have opened with a bang of the famous quote from the famous movie. So which has taken away the complete attention for your speech. Moving on ahead, the drama and visuals which you have added. You came so near to the camera once, and you were at times far, and your entire expressions, it's all teeny things added a lot of drama in your complete speech. And once again, you have captivated the audience. And the very last thing, pauses. At times you have given a slight pause of 1 or 2 seconds. It had really stopped our hearts for some second, like what's happening next. So that's one thing which elevated your speech. And speaking of the suggestion which I could give you, please have a check on the to and fro's which you are taking. They were sometimes so frequent in short time. Apart from that, it was completely a whole set of elevated speech. So that's it from my side. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinutna. As of your, let me give the evaluation to yours. Evaluation. You've taken each and every point. First, you talked about the criteria and everything. I think you could have increased a little bit more on the content of the speech. You could have talked about the content of the speech, since I felt your evaluation was short and crisp, but you could have talked more. As of Toastmaster Harsha's speech, I believe life is not a race, life is a journey. And as Toastmaster Vinutna told, you were moving to and fro a lot of times. So it kind of distracted. It was like a redundant gesture. This is what I felt. And one more thing, you keep doing this in the middle of this. This has been something I've noticed when you say your speeches. So I challenge you not to stop doing this for some time. Now let me call upon the second evaluator for today, Toastmaster Dinesh. Toastmaster Dinesh is evaluating Toastmaster Anjani's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Dinesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vaishnavi. And I'm back with my evaluation. Toastmaster Anjani, I'd like to divide your evaluation in 3 segments. One is your speech introduction, second is body, and third is conclusion. Now coming to introduction, every speaker desires one thing, that is interaction with their audience. Now that is the point you excelled there in your speech itself. You are like telling people that this is how my speech is gonna be in your to audience in your introduction as well. So interaction is one thing I liked about your speech. And coming to the body part, what I felt is there are some unnecessary elements you have added and you have exaggerated more on that. For example, when you talked about the part where you are learning coding and how people are suggesting you to do things differently, but you didn't, and all those things, you given details more than needed is what I felt, and that made your speech to lag a lot. So the body is can be shortened a bit is what I felt, and you can connect it to the introduction is the one more thing I observed. And you have added very relative elements like parents restricting you to do fun things. Why are not they allowing us to go to parties, and that things that made your speech relative to the audience. Over and all, what I would like to tell is that you connected the speech almost everything to the audience. You asked the questions like, what would you do if your child is playing with a toy and the toy is knife? All these things are very innovative element that you added to your speech. That is one thing, and you have added many. There are many takeaways from your speech as well. Something like, no one is matured enough to think all directions of a problem. That is one thing every child of this, every person of this generation should realize, and it helps them to think about other perspectives as well from their parents as well. So that is one thing. And you talk about your have you are self-taught learner, have you gonna learn from self practice, like without depending on others. That is one thing you told. And have you how other people, how you realized in the conclusion to have people, listening to those people who have experience makes you improve yourself. From here to there, you have showed us clear transition. And yeah, that's it from my side. Over and all, I would like to summarize by saying, keep the story linked, as in I know your path is leadership development and not storytelling, but it doesn't hurt you to keep your speech as a story, linking it with the introduction and body and conclusion. So that is one thing. And you could have emphasized more on the first objective, that is how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. I feel that objective is not emphasized properly, or that is just a suggestion. You mentioned few things, but it can be improved further is what I felt. And last suggestion, don't work around the clock. Your speech, you stopped after the timer shown the red card and you are still speaking. And that is one thing I'd like to suggest. And over to you, Toastmaster Vaishnavi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. First, I'll evaluate your evaluation. Since I couldn't hear the first part evaluation because I had a power cut, what I've understood from the last part is you've about the content of the speech, from intro, body, and conclusion. I believe instead of telling each and every line about the speech or this, you could have told it in a little more crisp manner and short manner, since the content is already told by Toastmaster Anjani. This is one thing I've noticed. And as with Toastmaster Anjani, I noticed that you again have a redundant gesture. More you tend to use this a lot. So I challenge you to like reduce it a little bit or add a little more gestures and voice modulation when you're speaking. This is one challenge I'll present it to you. Now, let me call upon the third. You, Toastmaster Harshita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vaishnavi. Can I get a quick raise of hands of how many people got inspired after listening to Toastmaster Nikhil's speech on becoming a leader, or you want to take up leadership? Okay, so coming to the first point I loved in your speech, you grabbed attention by the classic way of asking a question, opening with a question. Now, when I say classic, sometimes we tend to feel that by opening your speech with a question, it is a very routine way. But in your speech, I felt it made all of us think about our journey as a leader, or do we like to be a leader? So it did serve its purpose. It was a good way to start your speech. The second thing is, by the poll I took, I got the answer that people got inspired. So your speech was inspirational. And whenever we give leadership speeches, two things we seek is one, your experience, and the second thing, can we get some inspiration and motivation to be a leader? So inspiration, motivation part, pick. So you inspired many of us. And the coming with inspiration, the other point is your speech had proper structure. You opened with a question, then you talked about 5 points on how you think a leader should be, then you shared a little experience of yours, then you concluded. So the structure was the speech was well structured. And the other point I liked was you added few quotes and example which had variety in them. Like the examples which you used, ranging from Kalakaya, Dhoni to Gopika. See, whenever there is someone who doesn't connect to either Dhoni or any movie reference, they can connect to one of us. Or whenever a new person comes in, they can't connect to what you said about one tapster, they can connect to what the example you gave about Dhoni. So your examples were not stuck to one point, or they had variety in them. And coming to the suggestions or the things which you can improve, first point is eye contact. So this is something which has improved in your speeches from the first speech. Your eye contact was, your eyes were usually tilted up in your speeches in the beginning, but now I see that you are facing the camera, but see, now you're looking at the camera. In the same way, if you look at the camera while giving your speech, it would give that sense of connect, or the audience will feel a little more connected while listening to your speech. So a little eye contact was missing. You were looking a little down, so that can be improved. And the second point, second suggestion is, when I talked about the structure, the last 1 minute or so, you told about your experience as a leader, but it was very short. You just explained one point and you said that this is how you are as a leader. And I thought maybe you could add more of your experience. This adds more connect again to your speech. And the best part is your speeches are calm and you add that witty humor to it. So this has always been so in your speeches. Maintain that, and all the best to your future speeches.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harshita. That was a well-rounded evaluation. Coming to the evaluation of your evaluation, I actually didn't find anything to say. It was well-rounded. You spoke about the content. You spoke about body language. You spoke about every aspect of the speech. As of Toastmaster Nikhil, just like Harshita told, I've noticed it is, I understand it is hard to maintain an eye contact while speaking to an audience, especially in online mode. But I see that you keep looking at the screen rather than the camera. It's not that it's not easy, but you can try to improve upon that. That is one thing I noticed, and you can add a little bit of drama here and there to engage the audience better rather than making the speech informative. That is one thing I would like to suggest. Now, before I get into the evaluation of the whole meeting, let me call upon my soldiers. First being Toastmaster Vishnu, who is the grammarian for today. Over to you, Toastmaster Vishnu.
Is my screen visible? Yes. Is there still anyone who want to speak about the word of the day or idiom of the day? Any other volunteers, please? Just 3 people spoke about the word of the day and idiom of the day. About a huge number. No one? Yeah, thanks, Vaishnavi. Can you speak about it?
I'm quelling with admiration that today's meeting went extremely smooth and no one made any major errors.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster. Also, you are including the review of the today's meeting. And anyone about the idiom of the day? No one. Then I have to pick up. I request any guest to use the idiom of the day.
Yeah, I would like to give it a try. So I'm really working against the clock to be in this meeting, but I have another call to attend. So yeah.
Thank you for your valuable time in this club. And now I'm gonna share my report. Sorry, timer, I wasted some time. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Vishnu.
Today, word of the day was used by Gopika, Samir, and at last Vaishnavi. And today's idiom of the day was used by Dinesh. He used it 2 times. And also the new guest, Siddhartha Das, he used the idiom of the day. And the quotes or thoughts or words or accent sayings or something like that, good usages. Harsha speak about life is a race. Koushik speak about enigmatic and crown prince. Those 2 words. Anjani speak about politely. Samir speak about apocalypse. Dinesh spoke about emphasize envision. Harsha speak about witty humor. Coming to the improper usages and the suggestions to improve their usage. Can you say about your speeches to audience? When you are saying your speeches, you given details more than needed. You gave more details than needed and required. Showed us your transition. Shown us your transition. When I talked about, when I spoke about. These are some improper usages that I listened when you spoke. Might you have spoken other improper uses or other good uses or quotes which I didn't observe. Sorry for that. And that's it from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster Vaishnavi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishnu. First thing I want the evaluation I want to give you the media reporters. You explained the role very well and you added something different to the meeting by asking people to come forward and say the word of the day and idiom of the day. In this way, people will not forget what the word or the idiom is. And it's hard to keep add it in the speeches, but you made sure people remember it this way. Now, let me call upon the second soldier, that is Toastmaster Supriya, to give the counter report. Over to Toastmaster Supriya.
I'll just share my screen. So for today's meeting, so Toastmaster Ganesh, Toastmaster Vishnu, Toastmaster Harsha, Toastmaster Vinutna, and Toastmaster Harshita and Toastmaster Siddharth, they did not have any CRPFs. The one thing that I noticed that was good in today's meeting was that we only had filler words which were repeated a lot. Other than that, a lot of people did not use crutch words, or repetitive words were also very less, pauses were also very less. So that is a good thing. The only filler word that I noticed that everyone was using a lot is which is very understandable because there are a lot of times that we are saying something and we tend to forget it. So one way that all of us could improve on that is by rehearsing our speech if we're giving speeches. And in case if it's a table topic session, the only way we can do it is by taking more table topic sessions, by putting ourselves out there, and eventually everyone, I'm sure, will be able to get a hang of it. And that way we can also reduce the fillers. Now, comparing it with the last meeting, this meeting, the CRPFs were a little high, but in today's meeting, we also had a lot of people. So considering that, I think we all did a very good job in today's meeting, and we just need to work on the fillers part. That's all from my end. I hand it over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Supriya. And I loved your report, the way it was organized, where you used highlighted the people who have not used fillers or any kind of CRPS. This way, it'll motivate people to do better, and you've explained your role extremely well in such a way that everyone who, let it be guests who have not ever attended a Toastmaster meeting, attends for the first time. People understand what our counter's role is and what crutch, repetitive, pause, and filler means. So this is one thing I noticed. And now let me call upon the timer for today, Toastmaster Niharika, giving her report. Over to Toastmaster Niharika.
Once again, good evening, everyone. I'm back with my report. Could you see my screen? Yeah, these are the time taken by the speakers, evaluators, and SAA. Our speakers for the day, Harsha took 6 minutes 52 seconds, and Anjani took 7 minutes 55 seconds, and Nikhil took 6 minutes 1 second. And evaluators, Toastmaster Vinutna took 2 minutes 14 seconds, Toastmaster Dinesh took 3 minutes 54 seconds, and Toastmaster Harshita took 3 minutes 23 seconds. And these are the time took by the SAA, TTM, grammarian, and our counter. I'm a bit unhappy today as we have 4 disqualifications. No worries. I have 4 suggestions for you to avoid this. Yeah. Do not forget to ping me. Like timer, not me, timer. That's a most important thing. We can keep track of our time, and we have disqualifications from all the segments like prepared speeches and evaluations on the table topics. First, prepared speeches. There are different kind of people. Someone will overshoot their script and someone can't take the whole time of their speech. So I would suggest you to time your speech before you present your speech, so that you'll get to know the time length of your speech and accordingly make change to your script. And the second one, speech evaluators. Try to mention good things. If you feel your script is more, try to mention the good things in a crisp way, so that you can mostly concentrate on the improvements. And if you feel that you are overshooting the time, you can get back to your target speaker personally. And coming to the table topics, we got undershoot today. So as soon as you get the table topic, take 5 to 10 seconds to think about the topic and start the table topic such that you will take 2 minutes to speak about it. And that's it from my side. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Niharika. And you had a very well-rounded evaluation. You've showed the cards, you've done your job extremely well. You even had a very good intro. And when the way you explain how to improve upon your time, this is one thing which is actually, I think every other timer should follow. So let me start with the overall evaluation of the meeting. So starting from essay was very energetic, but I feel could have added a little more about the theme, because I felt since it's essay, I feel there's a need to engage the guests even more. That is that felt a little short today in today's meeting. Though you have explained the golden rules, everything perfectly well. The presiding officer did an amazing job calling upon people, making the environment even more comfortable. And as a TMoD, first of all, I love the whole theme where you're saying when you said house to Josh, as a person who was from EC and has taken part in parade, the first thing which came into my mind is Abhinavanda. And when you told that you started your journey of how you entered TAB, how it was done. Yeah, it was you did an amazing job. I would request everyone to join hands and clap for the job he did. Since he's taking this role after so long, and your intros were done very well. As of the whole, as of table topic speakers, no, as first, let's talk about the TTM. TTM did an amazing job of selecting all the topics and was on point. The topics were very interesting. They had Samir had a very energetic intro and explained the role very properly by giving an example. This way, people got to understood the essence of why we're doing table topics and why impromptu speaking is necessary, even in the day-to-day life. The table topic speakers did an amazing job. Guest Sanjay, you had like a very well done routine. As it didn't feel like you were coming from an outside club. You spoke that well. It was guest Siddharth Das, that was very humorous, the whole table topic. And Toastmaster, can I ask how to pronounce your name? I don't want to offend you. Toastmaster can I ask you how to pronounce your name?
My name is Hasanul Haq. Like, you can call me by my nickname Johnny. It's easy for you.
Johnny. So you had a very smooth flow.
This is the first day and I joined later. Sorry for this. I'm not in a position at that moment. I'm using my phone. I'm chatting with someone, and instantly I have to answer. So I couldn't give my best. Okay.
But you had this didn't feel like the first time you were speaking as yes, not speaking. First time you had a very smooth flow and very crisp tabletop. Next time you can increase the content and you can do it better.
I increase the content, yeah, it's needed.
Then there's Toastmaster Harsha, who's always on point with his humor, and this I don't need to say anything more about him. Same with Toastmaster Harshita, she's always on point, and I understand technology, human relations are better than technology. Then Toastmaster Ganesh, he's not going to survive any zombie apocalypse alone. This is a fact. I'm telling you this. And Toastmaster Dinesh, obviously you've done a very good job again, an amazing job while speaking. So overall, this meeting went very smoothly, and I think we need to concentrate a little more better on time management. Since we had a lot of table topics, that's the reason we lagged behind. But we can do a much better job in the future, and all of us have done an incredible job. So kudos to all of us, and let's clap. And that's all I have. My report for this meeting. Over to Toastmaster Koushik.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, for that wonderful and detailed evaluation by you and all the evaluators and the tag team. And finally, coming to theme, it's been, I have been paused with Toastmaster for 6 months because of the other things which are more prioritized to me. And because of that, I even though even though I'm not active member in the past term, but I used to attend meetings because whenever I feel whenever I feel like burden or heavy, it's good to join meetings, and I feel like stress buster, something like that. Like whenever I join, so I can talk to people, I can engage with people, I can listen to the speeches, and I can interact people, and I can take some table topics, something like that. So it makes me it gives me the stress buster, and as well as the connectivity, like talking to the people makes me feel less pressure, less stress. And this is why I themed the today's meeting as How's the Juice, because coming back again to the tab is always gives me full of energy, and whenever I join the meeting, it gives me high energy. And you all, even though you might think that you can't speak at that point, but because of the environment in the club makes you to speak and engage with people. So this makes me so high. That's why whenever anyone asks me how's the shows, I'll say it's very high. And that concludes my team, and over to Toastmaster Gopika, presiding officer.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Koushik. It's been a long time since Koushik has come over and done TMoD, but it still feels the same. And I'm expecting Toastmaster Koushik to be active again. The voting link is in the chat box. Please go and vote. And in that time, if we still have our guests here, we can ask for feedback on how the meeting went. Vikshana is still here. Could you give us a feedback on how the meeting was? I think Vikshana's audio is not enabled. Sanjay is still there. Toastmaster Sanjay, could you give us a feedback on how the meeting was for you?
Yeah, it was very good, and I have already filled that form. I have given the feedback too.
Yes. You can still speak in the meeting. It's okay. You can just tell how you felt about the meeting.
It is good. It is good. It is good.
Oh, thank you. So we do expect to see you more in the club, Toastmaster Sanjay. You're always welcome at TAB. We have our 2 new members here, and I think it's their first meeting as Toastmasters Amrita Bengaluru members. So, Sanul, can you give us a feedback on how you felt in the meeting?
Yeah, I feel good. I joined the meeting half an hour later, but when I joined the meeting, I can see that some people are giving some speeches. After that, TM, our Toastmaster named Sami. Sami is asking the questions. He's giving questions to each and every members. Suddenly he says that we need to. I want to give some questions to the new members, but I suddenly raise my hand. I give the answers not in a proper manner. Yeah, I feel good. This meeting is going on us in a smooth manner. Yeah, everything is good. No feedback from my side.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sanal. I hope when you take up roles and when you give speeches, you will also feel the same way everyone does.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. We have Toastmaster Vinay also here. Vinay, could you come on screen and tell us how you felt in today's meeting?
Yeah, first of all, the meeting was amazing. As this was my first meeting, the way they perform and the way they talk was like very interesting, and like the table topics were very nice. Looking forward.
Great. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great time here, Vinay. Since you're just starting off your membership and your journey as a Toastmaster, both Isanal and Vinay is just starting it off. And I'm sure they have a lot to look forward to here. I'm still stalling because our general evaluator still not send me the results. So
only 15 responses, that's right.
Guys, go vote for whoever you think was the best role taker in today's meeting. But since we have a lot of faces in the meeting, I would like to ask how the meeting went. Toastmaster Samir, it's been some time since you attended a meeting, right? So how do you feel after taking up a role in such a long time?
I feel great.
Okay, that's a one-word answer. But the table topic session was amazing. You put everyone on spot, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. So we want you to take more roles here, and like put us more on spot so that we can encourage each of us also.
Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone else want to give feedback on today's meeting? Anyone on screen who wants to give feedback?
I want to tell about Samir. I think it was offline meeting back in 2020 college. There was this table topic session in the meeting, and if I'm not wrong, GSP, Ganesh, even Koushik bro was there in the meeting. Ashwin was there. A lot of them were there. Only 10 people attended the meeting. He was the table topics master. From that day to this day, the only thing that didn't change was the weirdness or the variety in the table topics office. If you take that table topic or try to attempt the table topic, for the first moment your mind goes blank. That's for sure. So that's something which is very creative in Toastmaster Samir, and which brings out a lot of fun in the table topic session. Great job done, Samir. Over to you, Gopika.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harsha. Does anyone else want to give any feedback on the meeting? Okay, we are overshooting a bit, but still.
I really like that team.
You really like Saturday meeting?
Tag team report.
I'm sorry, I heard it wrong. Yeah, I heard it wrong. Yeah, today's tag team report is really good. Also, I want to just mention like Toastmaster Vishnu's strategy of making someone come forward before before even the meeting official, like the everyone started speaking. Also, he asked for volunteers to use the word of the day and the idiom of the day, which is very good strategy to get someone at least to say the word of the day and idiom of the day. Good job on that. Vaishnavi, do we have the results?
1 minute, I'm sending it to you.
In the meantime, someone else can give a feedback on the meeting. Whoever is on screen or wants to say something about the meeting.
Okay, we still have time and no one else is going ahead. I'll go again. So I just wanted to talk about evaluation that we have. I think so at this point, a lot of us are able to give good evaluations. The basic format of an evaluation, that's something we're getting good at. And everyone is almost able to give a proper general evaluation for a speaker. Whoever gives a speech, they can come ahead, evaluate the speech and try to look at all the aspects of the speech. But if we can innovate those evaluations a little more, try to put in a little more effort while evaluating, we can make the evaluations work more in an effective way. As the one example that I could give is making the evaluation sound like a speech. That's the first step of innovating our evaluations. So we can bring in the same drama that a speaker brings in as an introduction, or the body in between, or the conclusion. So if we can work on our evaluations that way, since we are good, or we are at a point where our evaluations are already good, a lot of us can do good evaluations. If we can try to innovate that particular point in evaluations, that will become a big plus point for us. So yeah, that's one feedback that I had for everyone in the meeting. That is it. Back to you, Gopika. You'll have to cover.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have the results. Thank you so much, Harsha. I got a bit distracted in between. So everyone is waiting for the results. So the best of tag, any guesses? Okay, let's not go with the guesses. The best of tag is Toastmaster Vishnu for his grammarian role. Congratulations, Toastmaster Vishnu. The best speaker? The best speaker is...
Harsha.
Yes, the best speaker is Toastmaster Harsha. Congratulations, Toastmaster Harsha. The best speech evaluator? Anyone wants to guess? Okay. The best speech evaluator is Toastmaster Harshita. Congratulations, Toastmaster Harshita. The best of table topics is our guest Siddharth. So congratulations, Toastmaster Siddharth. And the best of Big Four. Any guesses? The best of Big Four is our beloved TMoD who hasn't taken up TMoD for a long time. It's Toastmaster Koushik. Congratulations, Toastmaster Koushik. With that being said, I will officially close meeting number 155, themed How's the Josh?